only thing that, again, doesn't surprise me because the same thing happened last year, but disappoints me, and I rarely would I ever say that I'm at odds with my constituents. In other words, over the time, I can't think of an issue where 2/3 of the people in the 13th congressional district haven't been generally in support of the issues that and the way I vote on issues. And that is not intentional. I generally don't go out and run polls before I vote. I generally vote the way I think is best for you, and happily it generally turns out that you think that. But I must say we're at odds on immigration, and it's disappointing. This happened last year. Whereas you, the constituents as a group, as I say, were 2/3 to 70% in favor of almost all of these issues, ending the war, aid to education, right down the line. Less than half, basically, were willing to give some kind of a permanent residency or a solution to the millions of undocumented residents in this country. And
Hillary says that it doesn't hurt us financially. So you explain to us why if we let all these people have all these social services and jobs, it's not going to hurt the rest.
Okay. Right, skip there. Because right now, and for the last at least 30 years that I can remember, nobody in this room has lost a nickel through people working here without a green card.
That's right.
And in the current doctrine, which is as bad as I've seen in probably longer than 30-odd years of Congress, it ain't the fault of people who are here without green cards. In this case, it's the fault of the Wall Street, the large banks that we've given huge tax breaks to. And I'm not suggesting that I'm in favor of breaking the law, but I am suggesting that we have to look at something realistically. Insofar as we know, and it's not very accurate because the people who are here illegally, there are around 12 million people in the country who are here illegally. And these are my assumptions. Somebody else may find them. And of that 12 million who are here illegally, and many of the children are legal, but the adults who are working are not, they are working for somebody. And they're performing, one presumes, some job of economic benefit. There may be a few who are working in chop shops, cut up stolen cars, but I think for the most part, you'll find, the tradition tells us, working in landscaping, restaurant work, hotel work, service jobs.
The underpaid areas.
Well, and in many cases, they are having taxes withheld from their pay, which aren't getting into the treasury. The employer says, I'm taking out Social Security, and I'm taking out income tax, but the employer puts it in his pocket, doesn't send it on to the treasury.
But how are they getting taxed?
The employer just doesn't, he just gives you the check and says, too bad, Buster, here, I took it out, puts it in his pocket. In many cases, they're working off the books and not reporting. So they're not paying into Social Security, and they're not paying county taxes, they're paying sales tax. And the other side of the coin is, for the most part, we can't find them. Everybody says, let's round them up. I mean, we all know, I suspect everybody in this room knows, where you go to Home Depot and see people come by with a pickup truck on some mornings and have people hop in to go work for the day. But in general, the people who are working illegally haven't broken the law, other than the law to sneak in, because they know if they get arrested, they'll be sent home. So maybe they're not all that nice, but they're very smart, and they aren't going to get arrested.
Working illegally is breaking the law.
Okay.
So that's two instances they're breaking the law.
Okay. Other than that,
the trade deals, it makes it impossible for them to make a living.
But they are not getting in the way of the police if they could possibly avoid it.
Oh,
And because they've learned to become, in that sense, street smart. Now we have the other group, is that it's difficult for me to believe, unless you just fell off the turnip wagon, that the employers don't know that the people they're employing don't have green cards.
that's the problem. That's right.
That
After 'em.
that one doesn't wash. And then I think it was in 2005, maybe, or 2006, one year we fined 3 employers in the whole United States for hiring an illegal worker, and the other year, 0. Now this year we picked it up a little bit, Bush's operation, and he's had some raids on some of the big packing plants in places where we know there have been a lot of undocumented workers. So what I'm suggesting is that we're not sure, one, that we could find the 12 men very well. They're not going to stand up and volunteer. 2, it seems unlikely that we're going to be able to build fences and concrete barriers and enough cops or Minutemen to go and police the borders to shoot all of them who try to come across the border. So, it seems unlikely that we're going to be able to build fences and concrete barriers and enough cops or Minutemen to go and police the borders to shoot all of them who try to come across the border. So, and to a large extent, for many industries, they are very important. I can remember 1,000 years ago when I used to be in the wine business,